everyone.
We're back.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 25. Hey, 25. We've hit a quarter century of this. Let's say if you go past if you go past 7, you have something to be proud of. So, episode 25 of the Automotive Podcast. We don't have to build model cars, but it sure does help. We are here with a full crew. Our Globetrotter is back. Our theater major is here, and down there in the Hollywood Squares guest is our guest for this evening. It's Mr. Irvin Arter Jr. You may recognize him off his suddenly, I would say suddenly successful because that sounds bad, but suddenly content worthy because all of a sudden my YouTube feed is like your videos constantly. You're really cranking out the content every sudden. It's Irvin Arter Jr., better known as Rake on YouTube. Gentlemen, how are we doing this evening?
Still tired.
Good.
Still tired?
Still tired. Jet lag, man.
Come on, man. This is like the same time, just 12 hours earlier.
But you work nights, so you understand.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was up there the whole time you were up every day.
Right.
You live my life.
So you just got back from Japan.
Yeah, that just last week.
And your arms are really tired still. Dad jokes.
Let's say, well, we'll have to review what you've smuggled into the country at some point tonight. So I usually go around and like, what has everybody done? But I haven't seen anybody. Like I got to do this podcast by myself, tapping Frank to talk to Jason last week. Both these guys were gone, and Irvin, we just met for the first time at NNL East. So we'll start with you, Irvin. What's been going on in your modeling world? What are you working on? What's been going on?
Well, of course, since I started a YouTube channel, my modeling has almost come to a screeching halt.
That's the trade-off.
That's the truth.
So so I got a couple things going. I got a bunch of stuff ready for clear. I tried a UV or urethane all at one time. So I got a couple cars lined up for that, and got a couple 3D printed projects, and of course I got my constant stack of 20, 25 that are going at any one time.
Wow.
So I get distracted very, very easily.
You typically have 25 models building all at the same time.
Usually there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe a little exaggeration. Probably about 15.
Wow. That's impressive.
I see something I like, I start it, and then it goes to the back burner, and I pick up another one. Or, my goal is to ruin all my kits that I have, so I like cutting the parts off of them. So whoever buys my collection, they're going to be a mess. Yeah. I've ruined any value whatsoever. So.
You also take parts out and put them in different boxes, so you can't even like reassemble a kit.
No, I don't do that too much. I actually have I do some kits. If I buy kits to part out, I like to do that too. If I get them cheap enough, I'll part them out. But I have bins underneath my desk they're all labeled, shocks, mirrors, and so
wow.
if I part something out, I'll just put them all in there.
Okay. Awesome.
So I have I'm fairly organized on that end of it, but. That's usually what I do with them. But yeah, I want to ruin them all. Yeah, so because my wife's just going to throw them out anyway.
I knew I liked this guy. we talked about this last week about starting projects and not completing them, and the fact that like anything in here, there's a chance it might be new or it might have half the chassis painted already. I don't know. Up to you.
Well, back in the day, it was gluing engine blocks together, but I've gotten away from that. So
it sounds like you also like this sort of paint in an assembly line fashion where you do multiple like clear timer.
Yeah. If I'm mixing the urethane because it's it's 2-part and I don't like to waste it, I usually try to get stuff ready to clear. Yeah. But actually I've been getting away from the urethane a little bit. I'm getting tired of it because everybody's got it now. So I've been doing some straight lacquer, no clear. you know, like those, like if I built a lot of muscle cars, a lot of them didn't have clear on them anyway. So
Right.
I'm getting away from that and maybe going back to clear lacquer, just for a different look. Because you know, years ago you'd have 5 or 10 guys that could paint. Now you go to a show and you have 5 or 10 guys that can't paint.
Yeah.
It's like a,
Me.
you know, it's urethane everywhere, and I'm just kind of getting tired of it. So I kind of want to try some other effects, you know, that are a little bit different.
I'd like to
I
step
still
away from
use it.
thing too.
I still use it, but I mean, you know, I don't use it on, like there for a while I used it on everything. Now I'm kind of like, you know, I feel like I'm not in a urethane mood today, so I'll do something else instead.
What's your lacquer clear of choice?
Well, my brother owns a body shop that my father owned, and he's a PPG shop.
Okay.
So when I lived closer to him, I always use PPG or shop line clear, cheap stuff. It's just sitting on a shelf. But lately, I've just been getting Splash 2K if I'm buying clear. It's just convenient.
Yes.
And I don't mix a whole container of it. I break it down.
Yeah.
So I might get three or four shoots out of that one little container.
Right.
So I've been doing it that way, so I don't waste it. And then I mean, I've been painting so long, and like I said, I grew up in a body shop. I paint everything, all mediums. I don't, you know, if it comes in a jar or in a spray can, I'll use it. You know, so and you know, a lot of it's good, a lot of it's bad. You know, I screw up just as much, if not more, than someone else. I push the edge a lot. So sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. I know James Tester and I were talking before about how we don't like to strip things. That you know, so
Let's give it
they
away.
they all start out as you know, possibly really shiny, and then if I screw it up, then I'll either weather it or dull it, or you know what I mean. That's like it'll go to plan B. But I stripped a couple. It's like this year, for some reason, I stripped a bunch of cars, and it's like I never strip anything, and I've had to strip a couple cars, so it's new territory for me. So
Yeah.
and I don't paint spoons. I hate spoons. I don't measure anything but to 2K. Everything else I've been mixing for so long. I just mix it and I go for it.
So you don't
which is
like
good and bad.
So, man, I do spoons to test colors because I like a lot of flip flops and pearls and stuff. So I test them first.
Well, I just got these color test cards.
Okay.
And they come in.
Oh, yes.
So I just started. Actually, I'm going to do a little tutorial on it. But I got I just started spraying my tropical glitz colors, and so I wrote the base colors, how many coats, and all that. So I've been using these because I can store these easier.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I can put these away, and spoons, I want to use them for something. I don't know what it is. I think psychologically, I can't paint a spoon. It just drives me crazy. I don't know why.
And the thing that's really, really neat about the thing that Irvin just showed there is the fact that those come pre-colored, if you will. So there's a black space, a dark gray space, a light gray space, and a white space. So you don't have to primer 4 spoons and then paint over the 4 spoons. You already have the primer laid out on the card, and you can see the tonal value your paint's going to get just by spray painting the card rather than spending an hour, a whole day. Oh, let's spray paint these spoons all day long. Now, my friend John Brolin, who these two guys know and have met before, he has a key ring, basically, he made out of a coat hanger. It's literally this big around. He has all his spoons attached to with written, black primer, gray primer, with all this guys. Like, it's cool to look at, but like that's a lot of work, man. You could have built like 5 models in the time it took you to spray paint all those spoons.
Well, my brother actually has these at his shop, but they're big. They're big. He uses them for matching colors, and they're huge. But this is like model size, so I really like them. I think I'm going to make one for each brand of paint that I use. like make a little booklet, and then I'll just have them for reference. You know, I can just look at colors, and anytime I paint a car, I'll paint a panel, and then I have them, so I can just refer to them later on.
And where did you get those cards at?
I got them at the SCMA show the other week. I think it's SCMA. Yeah, SCMA show. They had them there, but I was doing some research. I looked them up on the internet, and you can find there's a bunch of places that sell them.
Yeah,
they're made by that. Is it Dispae? DSPIAE, the one that makes all those tools, and
Yes.
I got some of those little sanding blocks that they make and stuff. So they got some neat stuff out, but they're like $5 or less for a booklet, and they all come off there. It's really nice. I think I'm when I first got it, I thought, I don't know. I can't even remember if I gave money for it. I think I might have got it for free because I bought so much stuff over there from that guy. He was selling paint. So I got it home and I started looking at it and started thinking about it. So, that's not a bad idea because I hate, like I said, I hate painting spoons. Yep, there's a spoon right there.
I like what you're saying about not stripping, and I've done that myself too. A couple of the things that I ended up as a patinaed finish, what didn't start out that way. It was like, well, now what do I do? Let's make it a patinaed rusted finish. Okay. Sort of.
If you see any builds from me and they got a flat finish, you know something went wrong.
Plan B.
I have a great one from the things he sent in to us. We'll talk about later then. Sean, you were not even here the last time. What have you been up to?
Oh, I've been working on my travel all.
Yes, the travel all build.
That's in primer.
You'll be finished with that before I even get started.
It's actually pretty far along. I scratch built a lot. I'm doing more of a lifted overlanding kind of rig. I scratch built front and rear steel bumpers, step side or step things for the sides. I scratch built a winch. It's going to have a roof. It's going to have an object on the roof. I'm not ready to share that yet, but I've got a cool idea to do something with it. So it's pretty far along. It's ready to get built and are ready to get painted actually. And so the new thing that I just ordered yesterday, I'm super excited about. So I pulled the trigger on buying a new airbrush. So I ordered a new. I don't know is it Gallery? Is that how you pronounce
Gallery?
it?
Yeah. Gallery, yeah.
Gallery. I ordered the Mobius or TG. So it's the bigger of the two kind of gun style.
0.5, right?
Yeah, 0.5. And I watched a bunch of videos, and James and I think Craig from Craig's Corner.
Craig.
I was kind of chatting back and forth. You both recommended the Swallowtail, and after watching videos of it, and the past couple discussions we've had about airbrushing made a lot of sense. And Mr. Tesla, the way you were talking about how you like to put just kind of real thin layers
mist,
mist. And I'm always been a guy that kind of hosed it on, with a big gun because I was used to painting with, an automotive touch-up gun. Right. And I think the Mobius TG is more kind of similar to the way I was used to painting.
Yep.
And, flow a lot of paint. And I was like, I think I'm going to probably end up being happy with that. So we'll see. I'm going to give it a try, but I'm excited. And as soon as I get it, I'm excited to throw some paint on the travel all and
better paint a spoon first.
Yeah, do some spoons as a test.
I'll give you mine.
All right. I actually do paint spoons, but usually for me it's more just like I want to see how the paint's going to flow out of the gun before I actually see if I can avoid having to do a patinaed finish just by like, oh, what's going to come out? How's this paint going to lay on something before I throw it on a kit? But yeah, I'm excited.
Marcos in the comments saying that Irvin's one of the good guys in the hobby, not that any of us are assholes. Oh, thanks, Marcus. Appreciate it.
Here's my spoon. I just keep this in the booth, and I
There
just
you go.
always spray on it.
Just keep primering it and paint over it.
Yeah, it's really thick. It's got a lot of urethane on it. It's got a little bit of everything on it. So, yeah, I just did some tropical glitz candy today.
Nice.
So,
Spoons are cheaper, you know.
I don't know. You can give us some of those bag kits for like $1.
It's hard to eat pudding with this though, as a spoon.
And
that's why
as Sean
that's
was
why I
talking
only paint the back sides of them so I can still use the
as Sean was saying, he's scratch budding a bunch of stuff there. I mentioned this on the last podcast. You weren't here to hear it, so let me say it again out loud. Sean is quietly like one of the obnoxiously good builders that I've gotten to know. Like, he's very quiet and demure down there in his little corner box, acting like he can't paint anything, he can't build anything, all this stuff. But got time to look at his models at NNLE, seeing them in person rather than seeing them in pictures. And Sean is just very talented and obnoxiously good at what he does. Like, don't let that oh shucks gee willikers thing go on down there in the corner. Like he won a People's Choice at NNLE, not this past year, but the year before that. And then he had some stuff out there, and yeah, he's very good at it. I'm not taking these oh, I can't build model kits, guys. Attitude, not dealing with it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I used to think that I could build pretty well, actually, until I started like watching other people and looking at their models in more depth, and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, my stuff's not on that same par with some, but
lies.
I could throw one together.
Yeah.
I use Photoshop a lot. That hides a lot of flaws. I can bury all my mistakes. That's the difference. It's not that I don't make mistakes. I just hide them better.
Mr. Tester, World Traveler.
Yes, sir.
I'd ask you what you've been up to, but I guess flitting about the country of Japan would be the answer to that question.
So I was there for 2 weeks. Got to visit the Shizuoka Hobby Show in Tokyo. Not Tokyo, in Shizuoka. It was pouring down rain the day of the show, and come to find out, it's free admission. So everyone in Japan was there. I swear to you. So it was pouring down rain, and the line to get in was 3 sides of a city block. Wow. Yeah, just like it took a half an hour to walk to the end of the line. And that was a half an hour before it opened.
Wow. And this is just all hobbies or just model kits?
It was model kits and Gundam.
Okay.
But it was an amazing experience to see all the Japanese manufacturers on display. And come to find out, I missed the entire other side of the building where they had like all the local clubs showing off their model cars. I was so bummed when I found out,
Wow.
after we left, oh, you missed the whole display. Oh, but after about a half an hour, Makiko got tired of people bumping into her and was just like, are you ready to go? No, not yet. Not yet.
I will be back tomorrow, as a matter of fact. As I said, I was kind of because you went, and we should have all seen the video you posted of that by now, because it's been about a week since that went up. But like there was no mention of the display area, and like there's also like a flea market that goes on over in that corner too. And I was like, we're gonna send him over there to where he can buy any used model kit of Japanese origin he wants to. I can't wait to see what he buys. And they didn't even go to that side of the building. I could have not let him back into the country.
You couldn't read the signs.
Yeah, I couldn't. They had like a map, but obviously it was in Japanese. But yeah, just finding your way around was crazy. But after the show, actually, I met Wenben's son, my decal guy, at the show. He flew over from China to Japan just for the show.
Wow.
And I got to meet with him, and that was so cool to finally meet him in person. But after the show, one of his Japanese friends took us to a local hobby shop that was like walking distance away, and they had used kits there, secondhand kits. So I picked up two at that shop, and they were good prices.
Nice.
Someone in the comments asking when the Lawson's and 7-Eleven fine dining video will be released.
I didn't record that at this time.
On my end, obviously, we did the podcast last time with Jason, and I think the only thing has come in that it's been different is I finally got my batch of the new BMW M4 GT3 kits in. As Mr. Tester will mock me, yes, I picked up a half dozen of them at once. I figured that was a good amount for who knows how many sets of decals. I think there's 3 sets I'm planning currently. So, and I do want to do this particular car because it's the DTM championship car, and I have decals to do other stuff that go along with it. So yeah, very interestingly now, and it's like nobody who listens back at audio booth, yeah, but it says Italian ink printing here. Now I know that Mr. Chester has a couple of new kits, but he hasn't built any. I have built some. I've never had a problem with any of their decals before. Like they use the same Hong Kong / China production that like LB and SK use. So the decals are really good quality, but now they're using Cartograph. I feel like that's just using Cartograph for the sake of using Cartograph. Like there was never a problem with their decals ever to begin with. They were very nice decals. They didn't need to change them, but I guess that, makes them seem more, I don't know what the word would be there. Pretentious comes to mind, but that's not really, it's like, oh yeah, well, we use Cartograph too, of course. So our decals are like, their decals are fine, guys. What are we doing? But yeah.
I did build one. I built the PlayStation car.
Oh, you did?
The M6, yeah.
Okay. Well, did you have a problem with the decals in that?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're good quality decals. I don't, Bell kits at one point switched to Cartograph because their decals were absolute crap, and you couldn't. One of the cars you basically can't build because they're crappy decals. They had a problem. They didn't, but I guess Cartograph that name, right? It's like, oh, it's Cartograph, so it's good. It's like, you, especially you, James, because you actually use them a lot. Wenben doesn't use Cartograph, and those decals are just fine and dandy. They're very vibrant colors, and they seem to work pretty well from everything I've seen. So
they're my favorite.
It's a name thing, right? It's Cartograph. It's a brand name. It's like I got Craftsman tools. Yeah, well, the Craftsman Harbor Freight turns bolts too. I mean, but yeah, that's pretty much it for me. This the aftermarket sheet is actually got some thickness to it. Like these are very thin normally because there's 5 sheets of carbon fiber in this one this time.
Wow.
Along with the regular PE stuff that normally comes with this. They finally have figured out that you can't take one big piece of carbon fiber and lay it over a door panel with all of the undulations and stuff like that and have it actually lay down. So it's split up in this one. But yeah, so I've been poking around looking at it, cutting stuff off sprues, but I'm sure much like everything else in here, it'll get partially started and then disappear into a corner when something more prettier shows up. So that's it for me.
That's fun.
Awesome. Cool.
And then alpha stuff, but I don't know when they're going to send me the stuff.
Yeah,
we've been for people that don't realize alpha's in China, right? So of course tariffs, and they were a little obnoxiously high. They're still ridiculous, but they were really obnoxiously high, and now they're a little lower. And we talked about getting stuff done over here, and I won't even go into some of the messages I've gotten from these guys that basically make me think I'm committing some sort of international trade crime. Because, oh yeah, we can avoid the taxes altogether. Can you? I don't really want to be sent to Sudan, all right, guys? So And then we finally got everything all worked out. And he's like, "Oh yeah, okay, we'll send you the stuff." And I don't know if I'm gonna get it for free or if I'm gonna pay for it or what, because that was 2 weeks ago, and I've still not been invoiced for any of it. And I don't know. We'll find out.
Interesting. So, Mr. Arter,
Yes.
how you doing, man? Tell us a little about yourself.
About myself?
Yeah, tell us about yourself. How long have you been modeling? How'd you get started?
I started back in probably 66, somewhere around there. Did back then we just had, like I said, we just had glue and kits. Have paint was a rarity, and even when I couldn't afford a kit, I always came home with at least a Palmer kit. Those old Palmer kits that were horrible, but the box art on them, I love those things. Now I learned to love them. I have a bunch of them because I just love the box art on them.
Yeah,
You just can't open the box. You can't open the box and look at the inside. I'm gonna build one though. I'm gonna like paint one up and do a nice one. But I'm putting all the parts on it. You got to have all the accessories on it. If it's gonna be bad, you got to really make it bad. So I'm gonna glue everything on it. It's gonna be an empty box when I'm done. So
I've seen people do that.
I grew up with a bunch of like when we moved to Littlestown, Pennsylvania when I was middle of 5th grade, and I had a couple buddies who had older brothers, and they had like a huge box of like the early AMT stuff, so we would go through the parts and mess with a lot of that kind of stuff. But most of the stuff we built, if we did have paint, it was really bad. If we got too bored, we burned them up, or we, like we'd buy a model boat, and spend all day building it, and then take it up to the lake and light it on fire and send it out to sea. And then, like I said, I had 2 younger brothers, so when I was done with them, like about 16, when I got my license and stuff, they destroyed everything else that I had left. So. And then I actually got out, of course, 16, cars, girls, and I really didn't get back into it after that until like so that'd have been 70. I'd say I'd quit in 74. And then the late 80s, I started, every once in a while I'd buy a kit and just glue it together. But back in late 80s when I started getting back into it. And then in the early 90s, I joined the Maryland group, the Mama's Boys, and they had like so many good builders. You couldn't help but learn and up your game. So I really learned a lot when I was in the Maryland group. That's really when I started, and I could still see then. So my building and paint was really good. But again, that's kind of when I really started getting into it.
And it sounds like you built planes or boats and stuff when you were a kid, or just mostly?
Well, anytime I build a boat is if we were going to blow it up or we are going to burn it or something like that, out of boredom.
Okay.
I mainly built cars. I love planes. I just don't know enough about them to detail them.
Yeah.
So I have one plane in my room. I got it at Ollie's, one of those tri-Fords. And, I just have it hanging up here, but I don't know enough about them to detail them and stuff. So that's why I never really built them, but.
So tell us a little bit about the Arter Rake. What is that, and how did that come about? And
well, that started again when I started building back, and that's just the style that I liked. And so I would start. Usually my cars have a lot of the signature things that I do on every single car. And when I take it to a club meeting, guys would just know it's mine just because of the way it sat on the table. And then they started joking about it. It became, they call it the Arter Rake because they knew when I brought a car in whose it was. I mean, it just, my look was kind of distinctive, especially in the group that I was running around with. So that's where it started as a joke with the Mama's Boys. And we used it for years. And then when I decided to do a channel, I thought, well, I already got I was already known for that. Even back in Hobby Heaven days when we would post on that,
Yeah.
guys would know so when I started my channel, I kind of already had like a foundation of people that knew my name.
Right.
I just didn't realize how many people knew my name. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in a couple magazines, pictures and stuff like that, but I just didn't realize how widespread I was known.
Yeah.
I just didn't know.
I was actually kind of excited to talk to you. I've known of your work for decades, for certainly a long period of time. Didn't know you as a person or as a builder until we met, at the NNL recently. But I certainly knew your name through Scale Auto. I thought it's really cool. And you're probably one of the few people I know that has been able to brand a signature model or a look and made it your own, and you're really well known for it. I think that's really cool. So an Arter Rake is a nose down kind of slant to that front to rear. I'm curious, how do you determine what's the formula for the right amount of rake, and how do you make that?
Well, back when I was driving younger, we just put air shocks on the back and pumped as much air into them as we could, and that was our rake. But I was known for quite a while. I used to cut the tires off at the tops, and guys were like in horror when they heard that I would do that. Whatever I had to do to get it low enough to sit. I mean, I'm more of a visual builder, a photograph builder. I'm not a mechanical kind of guy. So what happens underneath and everything has to work. Like some people, they want to make everything, right. And I'm not like that. I go for a look and whatever I have to do to get it. Now I've gotten away from cutting tires. I'm trying not to cut tires. Now I cut the wheel wells out, or eliminate the frames or whatever I have to do to get them low. But a lot of my cars you don't turn over. But I do build stuff that you can't. I mean, I do build stuff that I do nicer, building on that I take more time. It's just I get this picture in my head and I have to build it. And a lot of times I'll build it fast. I have a look and I get that look and then I build it and then I move on. So, and I'm getting older now, so it's like I'm running out of time. I need to start building stuff.
You need to ruin all those kits.
my goal was to build everything I have, and in order to do that, I can't make them all. I can't make them all, perfect. So, I got to build them, and again, being on Facebook and stuff, it's like. I wasn't going to a lot of shows. It's like, oh, they're just going to see it on Facebook. So, I mean, you take a picture of the good side and the other side you let go. And, there were some things I was letting slide and stuff. When I started going to shows again, it's like, oh, I gotta step it up again because, I was getting, I'll get lazy. And again, this stuff just sits on my shelf. So it's like I wasn't taking a lot of stuff to shows. So, I build for my enjoyment, and that's what I like to do. And so they're not all right and they're not all perfect, but I have been getting away from cutting the tires off the top. So people are, they were in horror. It was like, people's faces would drop when I'd say that. And because everybody asked, how do you get it so low? I said, well, it's easy. You just cut the top of the tires off of it. And
yeah.
I don't know if you know Kelvin Brown. We did a Nova together. I like to do stuff with other guys. So we did a Nova together and then had those sprint car tires in the back, 66 Nova. And I mean, we chopped the top of that tire. Like if you look at the proportion of the car, there's no way there's a tire going. I mean, we cut the crap out of the top of that tire. It looks really good though. That car looks, and it's black. It looks really, really good.
Yeah.
But we cut the crap out of that tire, and there's no way it would work, but it looked good.
Well,
Yeah.
You only use half the amount of tires because you cut them in half.
That's right. I could save them. Yeah.
Over.
So you just got to cut it low enough where you still got a piece of rubber on the edge so it don't come off. But
Yeah.
I've been trying to get away from that. I've been doing more, cutting the wheel wells out, and then some of them I have the wheel wells cut out that I'm gonna rebuild the wheel well back in there. But if I build a curb side and don't have a motor in it, I'll just leave it open. But I haven't been cutting tires as much as I used to. So everybody watching is that I've traumatized over the years. I hope that that'll make them feel better about what I'm doing. But,
Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. I mean, we have very similar build styles, and I think we, a similar appreciation for stance. I was curious, like for me, it's hard to know exactly what's the right amount of stance, because you can have it, jacked end up too high in the back, or you could too high in the front. It's just sort of a visual. I don't really have a formula. It's just kind of like, but
yeah,
I noticed with yours, it's always the right amount of proportion. It always looks right. I think you're really, I don't know, you have a great eye for just being able to know what's cool and what isn't cool.
Yep.
And I was like, and I was wondering, do you have any sort of formula, or are you just like, yep, that's cool? And
nope.
Yeah.
I do. I usually don't mount my tires till last.
Oh.
Yeah.
I usually don't mount tires until I have everything done, and that'll be the last thing I do.
Yeah.
So a lot of times the stance is at the very end. A lot of times I'll show like stuff I'm working on, and I'll have it sitting on the table, and I'll have it extremely low. Or a lot of time, like lately, my with dealing with these new tires, these new taller tires and stuff. I think my rake has become a little bit more conservative. It tends to be a little bit more level than what it has been in the past.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just the feel and the look. I mean, and sometimes I'll go back and change it. Like just like anything, if I build a car and I got it ready and I'm done with it, and something's just not, I got a feeling that something's not right. Either something looks out of proportion or something like that. I'll go back and change it later on. It depends. And then if I don't get like when I start something, if I don't get it to look right, if I don't have the right wheel on it, or I can't get it to sit right, or the color, like sometimes it's a matter of the color that I pick.
Yeah.
And my color choice is really weird. I look on my shelves and see what colors I got. And it's like, well, I don't have any green over there. Maybe I'll do a green one this time. So some of my colors are picked based off of what I have, like, I got too many reds right now. I need to do something different. So lately I've been trying to get away from standard colors and do some like golds and some candies and just stuff that I normally wouldn't do, just to be different. But again, it's just personal. I mean, sometimes I'm influenced by something I see. But a lot of times I just get it in my head, and I just, I have a picture in my head and I got to get it out. And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But, more than
I was
I'm
gonna
sorry?
say, it's almost like you're painting your room with model cars.
Kind of. All I know is I'm out of room. It's like I sent James some my little exotic, well, I call exotic cars. They're nook and cranny cars. I'm running out of room, so I'm building some smaller things to like stick in little corners and stuff like that. So I got a couple 1/32 scale cars that I can like tuck in corners, or like I love these 3D motors now. These new 3D motors. I got a ton of them. I just been building them as motors, like sitting them on my shelf as motors. It's like there's no way I'm going to use them all. So it's like I'm building them just as like yeah. I love that motor.
Oh, that's neat.
I built that in 2 days. It's such a cool motor. That's Texas 3D.
Wow.
Is that two small block Fords?
It's It's a GMC 12 cylinder. That's the way that's a real motor.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
and it's got two distributors on it, and the left side is one distributor and the right side is the other distributor. So the only thing I added on that was I added one throttle linkage between the two carburetors, and I put plug wires on it. Everything else is just panel. I dumped panel liner on it. I did. I virtually just dumped panel liner on it. I love that stuff. I use that by the gallons. I use a lot of that.
Yeah,
So
I like it's got the right level of like flat and a little bit kind of oily, glossy, semi-gloss.
yeah. It was fun. It was fun. So, I built a motor. Like, I don't even know what I'm going to use it in. I don't know what I'm going to fit it in, but it's like, it's such a cool motor. I wanted to build it. So, I think sometimes we think we have to build a certain way or certain things. And, I'm just building these motors as motors. I'm probably going to have a whole shelf of those motors because I buy them from everybody. I got a ton of motors. I love putting them together. And these new 3D ones with all the linkages and the carburetors, it's like, I'll never put an air cleaner on a motor again after these carburetors we get. I'll have an air cleaner there, but it's like the detail on them is just amazing. It's just amazing the detail they put in them things. There you go. That's a nook and cranny.
It's fun.
Finally
Irvin,
used for all those Coca-Cola decals.
Yeah,
Irvin,
I did.
You actually do a miniature rake once too?
Oh yeah, I have it right here. That's the Order Rake.
The Order Rake right there.
It's photo etched metal. It's brass. It came as a kit. I used to have a hoe, but I had to get rid of it. It came with a little shovel and
there's a never mind.
Yeah. So that's the Order Rake. That's the actual Order Rake.
That's cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So we just played with the name. That's all we did. And actually, there's my other nook. I love these kits. I have a ton of these little 1/32 scale kits from is that AARII? Is that what they are?
Yeah, micro airy. Yeah.
I love those things. I got a mess of them. They're really nicely detailed.
Fun to paint.
Yeah. No clear on that. That's just lacquer. Rubbed it out.
Neat.
Yeah, it's a great little kit. I can't believe I didn't lose any of those parts because I can't see. So working on that car is like, it's a 50-50 shot when you're putting like little parking lamps and stuff in there, or that little mirrors and stuff like that. So yeah.
So obviously you build all kinds of things, not just hot rods. I mean, I know you for building hot rods, but
yeah, I like something. The older I get, I like oddball stuff now. All of a sudden, it's like I like stuff that I'm not known for. Like I'm building a pulling tractor. That's not something that I just thought was cool. And I built a where's my I built one of these.
Porta
Who doesn't want one? Who doesn't want one? You know what I mean? I even put a little vent pipe in it. I put a vent pipe in it.
That's funny. Yeah, I saw your recent video of you built the lift.
Yes.
2-post lift.
Yep. I love that thing. That's nice. Yeah, I like doing different stuff. I mean, it's I think the older I get, the more I like oddball stuff, just to be different, just to build something. I mean, it's still model building. It's I like to be I'm not as diversified as some guys. Like I always thought Marcos Cruz like really builds high end, like from one extreme to the other. He's like really all over the place. I always admire guys who can do that. That can build, some really nice detailed stuff of stuff that's, it's like, it's not all one direction. It's all over the place.
Yeah, Rake.
I always liked his stuff. And, but yeah, so yeah, I like to be different. So, and some people get it, some people don't, I've taken stuff to shows and, nobody really looks at it, but,
you with that E10 you were showing me, you had just completed, I think it was A diorama. Was that
Yeah.
that was the first diorama you'd ever built?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought a Cadillac, the Surf, the
Surf wagon?
Surf wagon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
zero
Got it at
turn wheel.
Ollie's. I bought it at Ollie's for like $9. It's like, I don't even know why I bought it. It's like, I'm not gonna build this thing. So I had to figure something out to do with it. So there it is. So yeah, it's just tissue paper and Elmer's glue. And I stuck it on a piece of styrofoam at first. Well, at first I did the car. And it's like, it looks stupid just sitting here. So it's like, oh, I got a piece of styrofoam on it. And then it's like, well, I ought to put something around it. So I put some stone and some other things on it. And I thought, well, I got to build a wall. And it's like, I got to build a base around the platform. So the bottom of the platform is just popsicle sticks with the ends cut off. The wall in the back is just they're wooden coffee sticks. And man, I tell you that, I was always intimidated by these guys that do dioramas and stuff, or this weathering and stuff. And it's like, you can't screw it up. If you screw it up, you keep on going. You just keep adding to it until you get a look that you like. So I just kind of winged it, and it was a lot of fun. But it really doesn't get, like, I don't know if anybody looks at it when it's at a show. I've taken it a couple times. It doesn't look like anybody really is interested in it. So, because I have it in a box, because that light, Ken Hamilton, I'm friends with Ken Hamilton, and he hooked me up with a train light. So I had it in a black box so you could see the light, because I think that light adds a lot to it, but it's hard to do it at a show because it's so bright in it at a show. So, yeah, I did some black and white shots of that too that look really cool, but it's just something different, something I'd never tried before.
Yeah, I thought it was really neat when you were kind of showing it to me and telling me some things you'd done to it. I was real impressed.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else will ever notice it or not, but I'm done taking the show because it's too hard to lug it around. It's like it's got its own. I look like a homeless person walking into the building. I got like 3 boxes of stuff. It's like, looks like I was moving in. So I'm done carrying it around. But I enjoyed building it. It was fun. But I don't think anybody would ever know that I did it, because it's just not something that, I would normally do.
Yeah. Can you take us through some of the projects that you said that you're working on? Before we came on air, you were starting to show some of the things you got
15 projects, yeah.
Oh, 15 projects? Well, I got my tractor, my pulling tractor, and I got the super stock one. I'm not really into pulling tractors at all. I don't know nothing about them, but I'm doing this is MCV Products 3D printed tractor. So I got it ready for paint pretty much. My chrome, I have a method to my chrome. That's the Rebel spray chrome.
Okay. Oh, wow.
But on the 3D printed parts, you get a lot of the layering. It's really hard to get rid of layering. And of course, if you spray it with that chrome, it stands out like sure. It just really stands out. So I try to stand in the best I can, like your normal method of getting rid of any lines. But there's areas that you just can't do it. And then I usually put a coat of Tamiya primer on them, and then I'll do a couple coats of Tamiya gloss black, and I'll lay it on, and that helps. It just helps fill that stuff in. Now in most cases it's fine. Like those big wheels, there's not a lot of the details in that big wheel they're kind of big, so I layer on thick, and then when I put the chrome on, I put a couple coats on. I lay it on pretty thick. So I don't usually touch them for 7 days, and I don't touch my chrome. I know a lot of guys want durable chrome. I don't ever touch my chrome. I just, as a habit, even kit chrome, I don't touch it. Usually, if I pull a piece of chrome off the tree, it stays on the tree till I'm ready to use it. And if I do touch it, it's only once, and I always wash my hands, or I wear rubber gloves. I mean, once it's on the car, I don't touch it. I don't pick my cars up, but at the tops. So I don't touch my chrome at all. So I don't know why it's got to be durable. It sits on the shelf. So I don't. These guys that keep trying to clear coat it and do all this other stuff, it's like I don't care. It works fine the way I do it, and I just don't touch it. So that's the way I do it. So I'm sure that'll get some comments.
Well, I think people want to find something that would replace bare metal foil, so that they could spray it on around their window trim and all that kind of stuff. And then, force of habit, when you pick something up, you're always picking it up by the window trim. And so if you use something like that, you're leaving fingerprints in every time you pick it up. I think that's the durability people want out of their chrome. Because you're right. Like, if you're going to put a bumper on, when's the next time you're ever going to touch that bumper? If it falls off, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the way I treat my chrome. But that's what I do. But I like the. I mean, I've had to learn to make, the 3D printing. It's awesome until you put paint on it, especially chrome, and then you see like this seemed like it was pretty smooth, and you put chrome on it. It's like, holy cow, what's all these little ridges on here?
Yeah.
So I think there is a learning curve. This is like I think my fourth or fifth 3D printed body, or printed piece. And I'm sure James builds a lot, so he knows. He's done a lot of the. I'm sorry.
I just print them. I've actually only built three printed projects, and I have.
Well,
20.
I am not getting a 3D printer just because of watching your videos. You're very thorough but I don't want another hobby. I mean, it's bad enough I did the YouTube thing, but I don't want another hobby, and I can see that's what it would be. I'd be printing all the time. I'd have 1,000 pieces of. I mean, I already got 1,000 pieces of 3D printed parts that I buy. I can't imagine if I was printing them myself. It'd be, yeah. I don't want to go there. I want to be a purchaser. I don't want to be a producer, So, I mean, I admire and appreciate the work that goes into it and the skill that's involved in it and stuff. But I don't want to. I'm a builder. I want to build. I don't want to. I'll buy it if you guys make it.
What are some of the other things you got on your bench there?
Well, I got a. I already showed a video on this one, but I got the Stranger Things blazer. I already showed a video on this one. This is ready for clear. I just need to clear.
Yeah, I saw your video on that one.
Yeah,
I like the plaid interior.
Yeah, I like the
love
plaid.
it. Love
Actually, I seen I was at a show, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. had a pickup with these colors on it. That's why I chose these colors. It was painted like this, with that yellow green pearl with the plaid and brown interior. And I'm not a brown guy at all. Like interiors, I would never paint an interior brown, but it looks so cool with the plaid and everything that I just, when I saw this square body come out of the blazer, it's like, oh, I got to build something in those colors. So that's kind of that one. But that's ready for clear. I just need to clear it, and then I can assemble it. I'm not going to put a motor in it. I might not even put a frame underneath of it. I just would like to. I just want it because I don't know if I can get it low enough with the frame. I'm going to try putting the frame underneath of it, but if it's not working, it's going to go out. So I have that. I always start. Oh, I got this one's really cool. I got my
tires right to the wheel wells then, or
sometimes, sometimes I'll make an axle to keep them square, like a plastic axle, and mount them that way. Or I use epoxy a lot. I've been using super glue. Well, I have to use super glue now with the 3D printed stuff, but I do use a lot of epoxy because it gives me time to set things up and tweak them and all that.
I used to use it's been a while since I did it, but I used to use silicone caulk to glue the wheels up into the wheel wells. And I didn't care. Like you, I cared about stance. I didn't care about accuracy of suspension details. That's too much work. But I would cut pieces of styrene or whatever if I needed extra space, or like you, I would cut the top of the wheel off or
Yeah.
whatever in order to get the right stance. But then to actually glue the wheels on, I would typically put something under the front and rear bumpers to kind of set the ride height, and then
Yep.
use silicone caulk and set the wheels on it, and just kind of set it on, because it gives you a lot of working time to kind of move things around, get it
Yeah.
set,
Yeah.
walk away and come back next morning, and it was you're golden. And it was never going to come apart, like, but it was still sort of a little bit flexible that way. If it it was easy to kind of move it around.
I do that with I pin all my mirrors with a brass pin, and instead of using epoxy on placing the pin actually in the hole of the car, I'll use silicone, because if you bump it, it won't come off. It has a little bit of give to it.
Right, a little bit.
So I'll do that. But I got an MPC 69 Grand Prix that I'm working on. Now, this is a long-term project. This is something that's going to be more high-end. And then I have Jay's resin wheels on it.
Oh, neat.
Ooh, those are slick.
And this
Nice.
is going to be a GM Gold with a cream vinyl top. I'm not a vinyl top guy, but I'm not taking it off. And it's going to have a cream interior. And it's going to have a Iceman LSX in it.
Neat.
So it's going to have, that's going to be a little bit more detailed for me. But this kit, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this kit in person. The engravings on this kit are amazing. Yeah. It's an amazing engraving on it. It's just really, the dash and everything on it's just gorgeous. So that's a long-term project. It's kind of like my my machine was. My machine was a project that I would work on, but then I'd put it away. Like I worked on that car probably for like 2 years, on and off. I would put it away, get tired of it, or if I ran into a problem, like the first when I did my machine, the first one I got, it was missing a hood scoop, so I borrowed a friend of mine lent me his hood scoop, and so I started resin casting. So I do, I had to learn to resin cast to make a scoop for it. So I learned to do single mold resin casting, and well, then I ended up buying another one, and then I started. It started out to be box stock, just a box stock build, and then somewhere along the line, it got nice, and then I went a little further with it. So this car actually has a lot of work in it for me. I put a lot of work into it, and I still screwed up the decals in the back. I'm really unhappy with the decals on it, but they're buried in clear, and there's nothing I can do about it. But it's got a flaw in it. But I was really disappointed. I never realized there was other options for decals on it until, of course, after I was done.
Were those the kit decals, or are they?
No, they're from somebody, and I don't like saying something bad about somebody's product especially online, or if someone comes up to me and talks to me personally, I'll tell you what they are, but I'm not going to broadcast whose they were or whatever. I'm just, it's just, I was very unhappy. I think because, me, like you, I was in printing, so I'm very critical of like edges and pixels, and if some of these decals to me don't look very, they don't have clean lines and stuff on them. So and I know a lot of the other guys don't look at that, but being in printing, it's like it's a curse, because I'm always looking at stuff like that, and I just wasn't happy. They were translucent, so you couldn't of course you couldn't overlap anything, and the decal was split in two right in the middle of the door. So I actually had to buy 2 sets and try to make, go from fender to door to. Now I did learn from a friend of mine on the trunk. I had to come up to the very edge and just cut them off on the very top of the point, so that, you don't see that transition at all on the top. I'm sure James, when he built his, I don't know whose decals did you use on yours?
I don't remember, To be honest with
But-
you,
but they were
they were
pretty decent.
aftermarket, but they were aftermarket. Yeah.
Yeah.
I built one, and we using a set of Keith Marks decals, and
Okay.
they came out pretty well.
Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't happy with mine at all. But it was at the time I didn't know anybody else made them, so I made the best out of what I could do with them. And I'm not a decal guy anyway. Decals on me are like when decals hit the water at my house, they're on their own. So wherever they land, I am horrible at decals. I just now I have learned a lot more about decals, but I cringe when I have to do them, and it's just like, I've ruined more decals, and it's just, it's not good. It's not good at
You got to
all.
do some race cars, and then you get really
No.
good at them.
No, I don't want
really,
to.
really good at them.
Yes, yes. Come over to the dark side.
Yeah.
No, I'm not coming over to the dark side. No.
Yeah,
But
Cookie.
honestly, when I was at NNL East, I really looked at your cars. I'm fascinated you putting the windows in them and pulling that little covers off of them. So I was fascinated about the decals. So I looked really, really close at your cars as the decals and those windows, because I'm fascinated you pull those little covers off off the glass on those things.
I hate those
That
windows,
just
man.
looks
I hate them.
that
hate
just
those
looks
windows.
terrible. And of course, my funny car that I'm working on. This is this kit.
Charger 500.
Oh.
Okay, Rebel.
This kit, this actual car that I'm holding, my high school, well, not my high school, childhood friend of mine, he built this in 1969, and he kept the body. He gave me the body, and the paint on it was so thick, it was red, white, and blue, like a funny car. And it was a funny car. He had it built as a funny car, but he had the paint on it so thick when I stripped it, it was still red, white, and blue, like it just etched into the.
Yeah.
But I have that in primer, and I have this is an expensive kit. I have a lot of money in this. I had to buy everything, like the frame, everything for it. I was able to get Norm at Replicas and Miniatures made me some taillights for it. Somebody found me a glass, someone Xerox instructions for me. So this kit is a childhood memory. So it's like I want to build it and give it back to my buddy. So
Cool.
but it's a cool box. I love this box. This is one of my favorite box arts.
Yeah, that's cool box art.
It's a very expensive kit. But I have all the pieces to do it now. I have the correct, I say correct. I have, actually I have waterborne paint for this. My brother gave me some PPG waterborne. Been spraying that a little bit. That's on my list of things to do. Let's see what else.
You were telling us earlier, you also have a travel wall that you're on your.
Oh yeah. Oh, you want to? Yeah. Oh yeah. So unfortunately, I got a bunch of stuff. I recently got 5 3D printed kits from Andy. You got one of these, which I love.
That's
these
so
things.
cool.
It's so odd. I love it. So that's going to be cool. I'm not sure if I'm going. It's either going to be like a full out candy custom looking thing, or it's going to be like clapped out. I'm not sure yet which way. It might start out full on candy and then end up being clapped out. So I got that.
Any particular kind of delivery vehicle, or just?
No, I don't know yet. It's probably a bread truck or something.
Okay.
Because when I was a kid, I remember those. They had bread trucks when I was a kid.
Actually,
We had, my grandmother's farm, she had a bread man that would come, because we used to go out there and get candy off the truck. He had candy in it. So we had a bread man, we had a milkman. They all had trucks. So I grew up with that kind of stuff. So
neat.
it's gonna be something. I don't know what it is. And of course I got one of these Hearst Ramblers. I don't know why I bought it, because I got at least 3 of their original kits. So it's not like I needed another one, but it was an impulse buy.
Now, I know who did the model. Who did the printing for you? Where'd you get the prints from?
Andy Lesnick. Is that how you pronounce his name?
I
think
believe so.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is actually very reasonable. He's too reasonable. That's why I got him.
I
And
hear-
print, I'm very happy with the print quality on it. I think it's very compatible with anybody. Well, I mean, to me, since I started buying 3D printing, it's just like resin casting. There's three levels. You have garbage, and then you have something in the middle that's, it's not bad, but it needs a lot of work. And you have the higher quality ones where they're pretty nice. And I'd say this falls, pretty high. It's a nice print. It's a really nice print. He did a nice job on it. So I haven't. I really like the prints that he's given me, so I'm very happy with him. And I said he's very reasonable price. So, and I got the '73 Pontiac Grand Am wagon
Nice.
because I love wagons. Wagons are cool.
Yeah. So I
I don't know.
Arter Rake treatment.
I'm not sure. I don't know what this is. Again, this was an impulse buy. I didn't have a idea for it. He said, I have files for these things. And it's like, well, let's see what you got. And it's like, So, and this is the one I have a '73 Pontiac that I started. This one here, which will have these wheels. This is going to be low. This one will have these wheels on it.
Oh yeah, the snowflakes.
Oh
Nice.
yeah,
Oh, there you go.
snowflakes. Yeah.
And that's going to have white and black interior.
Nice.
And I did build the motor. I don't know if what I'm gonna do yet. I haven't gotten far enough.
Is that the stock?
Yeah, it's
motor?
stock one, but he has headers on his stuff, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna have headers on it. So yeah, it's a nice kit. I like it. Again, it's pretty nice for resin. Oh, I got a vacuum former.
Oh, okay.
I pulled the trigger, so I have to learn to do that. So
Me too.
yeah, it's going to be interesting. So maybe we can. I really wish the bucks were thicker, like the windshield buck that you're using to make the mold to do the vacuum forming. I wish it was thicker.
Yeah.
Because of the heat involved and stuff. I'm going to use Bondo underneath mine, like make a buck out of Bondo.
Yeah.
I kind of been watching Bill Geary. Bill used to be in the Maryland Club, and I knew him personally, and I've seen his. I watched yours, James, and I watched his.
He used the plaster of Paris, right?
He uses plaster of Paris. I think I'm going to try Bondo. So we'll see what happens. That's the only deal. I bought the same material that he has, and I actually bought the same vacuum former that he has.
Okay.
So I'm going to be doing a tutorial on it, and I'll probably do it like yours. It's either make or break, and it's either going to work or it's not, or it's going to be. I figure I'll have to do 5 or 6 to get one, but so I'm intrigued by vacuum forming, and I really want to give it a try. And of course, I got an international too, just because I want to be like you guys.
Yeah.
So I got one too.
So what's your plan for yours? Or do you want to review?
I don't know. The wheel wells in the front are so shallow.
They are.
What I originally planned, I can't do. So I'm thinking it's going to have skis on it for sure. I'm going to do a roof rack with skis. But I don't know if I'm going up or down with it. I haven't decided yet. I don't know which direction I'm going to go yet. So that's it for 3D. That's enough 3D stuff for me for a couple years. So, I mean, I love the subjects. 3D printing of the subjects. It's just like, that's what gets me. It's just stuff that you don't, they're never going to make kits of, most of it.
Right.
So, and it's different, but I like building everything. So I don't even know what's in this box. Oh, my bubble top. Do you guys see my bubble top when I was posting on? I was supposed to have this for NNL. I was supposed to have this for N&L East done. I had it in primer. I had it all the body work, and this is I don't do a lot of body work, so this was like something different for me. I did a lot of body work on it. I had a bubble top for it. I had it painted, hated the color, and then I put clear on it, and it just went south. Next thing you know, it's in the stripper, and then all the body work came out of it, so I'm starting all over. So it's going to be a custom. It's a Corvette, but I filled in like all the, everything's filled in on it. I made a totally different. I'm going to have exhaust pipes with the little short things, and I filled everything in, and I got a bubble top, and I can't find it right now. But it was pretty cool, and I had it like, man, I thought I could have it done for. Oh, there's my bubble top. I thought I could have it done for N&L, and then I screwed it up, and then I pulled all the body work out of it. So now I'm starting over. So I had to put it away for a while. Yeah, here's the bubble top.
Oh, cool.
Because Rick Hamore, he builds all those bubble tops, and Rick and I are good friends, and it's like, man, I want to build him and I built low riders the other year, and it's like I want to take a bubble top to show him, and I was, yeah, it went south. So I had to walk away for a while. I had to put it away because I had a lot of time in the body work on it. All the Bondo came out of it. I had ghosting issues. It just got really ugly. So I think I'm going to use epoxy primer on it when I get the bodywork set, so I don't have issues. When I was laying a lot of lacquer on because I wanted that one, really nice, and I was on the edge, and it just ghosted, and it got ugly, and yeah, there it is. So I got that. I got. I started a GTO.
Is that 60,
so I got
66?
This is the Revell.
Okay.
66. Yeah, the nice one. So I got my bumpers fitted. Lately, I've been stripping bumpers. Since the Revell Chrome, I've been fitting everything. So here you can see I got my first sanding of primer, and I kind of do my original sanding, and then I'll block sand everything so I can see where flaws are and stuff like that, and then I'll probably do another 2 coats of primer on it, or two levels of primer, 2 sandings before I go to paint on it. So I'm working on that. I'm building another. Did you see my service truck, my Dodge service truck that I made with the different colored fender and stuff on it?
I don't know. Did you send a picture of it? Did Mr. Duck?
I didn't give him one. I'll have to get it out. So I'm building the Chevrolet because I'm tired of waiting for Mobius to bring out the new Chevy trucks. So
yeah, they're a ways off.
So it's going to be a while. So I'm going to build because I don't even like Ford trucks, and I must have built 4 or 5 of those Ford Mobius trucks. They're awesome.
Yeah, they're fun to build.
The Chevrolets, they're going to sell 1 million of them. I mean, they're going to sell like hotcakes if they ever get them done. I'm sure it's behind the Maverick. So that's going to be a service truck, and it's going to have Steelies on it with hubcaps painted white, and it's going to be weather. That's definitely going to be weathered. That and I'm going to weather from the word go. It's going to be like a shop truck. Yeah, I'll share. Hold on, I'll get my Dodge. I think this is just them.
You keep them in individual cases?
I have acrylic cases. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 acrylic cases, plus the little cases. Yeah, I keep everything covered. I got cars built in the 90s that are as clean as the day I built them.
Yeah.
This is my shop truck.
Okay.
You might have seen that.
Yeah, did you have it at Columbus?
Yeah, actually, I stuck not Columbus. I had it at N&L East.
Oh, okay.
I stuck that motor in the back because I don't know what to do with it.
That's neat. That's cool.
Yeah. So, and this was weathered intentionally. This one I did intentionally. I put a Hellcat. It's got a Hellcat in it from Iceman.
Oh, very
Of course.
Got all kinds of garbage in it. So it's pretty cool.
Neat.
Oh, something else I do because I have a horrible memory and it's getting worse. So when I build cars, I write as I go. I write down all the information. So half this stuff I don't remember where I got it at or who made it or whatever. But I always keep a card by my stuff. Though I have. Oh, that's all Rust-Oleum. That board. That's all Rust-Oleum paint.
Oh,
Don't tell anybody.
Use the R word.
Yeah, the R word. Yeah, that's got 4 different colors on it.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Well, you know when I paint that all in one day, and it's sticky. So I love this stuff. Hold on.
He's a regular hippie guy.
This Krylon flat crystal clear.
Yeah.
It goes over anything, and it gets a really nice satiny feel and finish. So I take that Rust-Oleum and I spray it on, and it's in a day. It's still sticky, and I spray this stuff on very lightly and get it covered, and put it in my dehydrator. You can pick it up. I can pick it up in about half an hour. It's great. It's great stuff. I love this. I use this stuff by the gallon too. I love that stuff. All my patina jobs, it's all covered in this. It's great stuff. You just got to dust it on, and and you can spot it in. I've screwed stuff up and got fingerprints or something on it or glue mark, and I go back and spray. Like I'll spot it in.
Yeah,
you can't even see it. It's awesome.
I use that on interiors, like
oh yeah,
that are gonna like put plat decals on the seats or something. I'll dust it with that.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah. My Blazer. That's what's on my Blazer.
Yeah,
the seats on my Blazer. Yes, I love that stuff. I sprayed that over just about anything. Now you have to dust it on. You can't like lay it on thick, but I use it on my 3D printed tires. I paint them with the Mia rubber black, and then I spray that stuff on it, and they're like $1 million. I love that stuff. So yeah. So it's good stuff. Yeah, I should buy that by the case. I had trouble finding it for a while. I had a panic attack. I had to go on Amazon to find it. It's like because they quit making this crap. Some of this stuff they quit making. It's like the testers. I love their acrylics. I really like their acrylics. I love them. And I was on eBay buying that stuff. Oh yeah, Model Masters. Yeah, I love that stuff. Certain colors, not everything, but certain colors. And I was on eBay trying to find that stuff. Anywhere I could find it, I was buying it up because, that's my favorite. Like my favorite hand painting flat black is that flat black acrylic from Model Masters. I love that stuff, and I think I'm down to like 3 jars, so I'm like hoarding it. I don't know if it's going to take me out or not. I don't know if it'll last long enough. I might have to find an alternative.
I miss their real color, the Model Master authentic color spray cans. Some of the car
like
colors
Plum Crazy and whatnot.
Yeah, they had a lot of, and they just laid on really nice. Like they had sort of a satin finish as a base coat, and then you're going to clear coat them. And I never really had a bad paint job with those. They were easy to use. I really like their black, just the gloss black. I had a couple really, really good black paint jobs come out by using that as a base coat, and then do, like, clear over top. So yeah, I miss there.
Yeah, I got I'm old. I like certain things, and you get stuck in that. We don't like change. When you get old, you don't like change. So number one, you lose your filter. I lost my filter. And number two, they quit making your favorite stuff that you've been using for since the beginning of time, and it's like it's tough making the changes because you get so you have I think everybody, when you build, you have standard stuff. You've been like, you got your system that
Right.
you normally stick to for certain things. And, when they rock the boat, it's like, it's not good. It's not good at all. So I like certain things, and I like to use them the same way. And, because my building style sometimes is to build quick and assembly line. So some of the things that I don't normally have to pay attention to because I've been using it for so long, you just,
Right.
knock that stuff out and get it ready to go, and then and you move on. But when they throw that wrench in there, it's like, oh, now my system's all screwed up. I got to figure
Yeah.
another way out to do stuff. So
Yeah, I know
yeah,
exactly what you're talking about.
I mean, today you got all these exotic paints, and everybody's making different things, and but I kind of like the stuff that, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I like stuff the way it is. I have to admit though, this panel liner stuff and some of these new spray aluminums and stuff are like that are pretty cool. I'm starting to do some stuff with them, branch out a little bit. But yeah, and the chalks, I like the chalks too. The Tamiya chalks for weathering.
Okay.
Some of my nicer builds, I'll make them look like a driver underneath, but nice on top. So like the frame and the motor are a little dirty, and like they've been, like it's a road car, but they keep
Right,
it really nice. So lately, underneath of my better builds will have weathering, a little bit of weathering underneath.
Yeah. I started doing that
I like
recently
that.
too. I've had a lot of fun with that. I had never really weathered a chassis up until maybe, I don't know, it was about 2 or 3 years ago. I did one and I was like, yeah, that was kind of fun, and it turned out pretty good. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. So now I'm like, I'm gonna do that like more often.
It's actually pretty easy. It's like I was always intimidated by these weathering guys and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like it looks hard, and then I started doing a little bit of it. It's like, oh, this ain't bad.
Yeah.
I can do this. This isn't too bad, and then you get used to it. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of that kind of stuff just to branch out and do some different things with weathering.
What I like it, but there's sort of a freedom to it because you can't really do it wrong, and the more you
No.
add, the better it gets. So yeah.
Yeah, it's not like shiny paint. Shiny paint, it's either good or bad. There's no in
Right.
between.
Yeah. You'll throw like 1 or 2 colors on and like, oh, that looks pretty good. And you throw a third color, oh, that looks better. And you keep putting more stuff on. And like, oh, this is getting, I'll throw some pastel on it. I'll throw some chalks, a little bit of a wash, and they start splattering things. And I'm like, oh, this is fun.
Did you guys see have you guys watched Lucas C and Rattle Can Shenanigans thing they got going on?
No, I haven't seen that.
The one of them's going to build a Malibu and the other one won't. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, I built a plan B for them. I just posted it, but I'll show you because it's already out there. Hold on, I'll get it for you. So to whoever doesn't finish their kit, which apparently they both had troubles finishing cars, I built them the tarp of shame. So whoever doesn't finish gets the tarp of shame.
Nice.
And it's got pigeon poop on it. So it's just I even signed it for him.
Is that a
Signed my
monogram?
name on it. Yeah, it's monogrammed. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's tarp of shame. Yep.
Nice.
So we'll see what they say about it. But I just posted it today. But yeah, I spent like a day and a half, 2 days in it. That's nothing crazy.
That's fun.
I never was a fan of this kit anyway, so.
But you still had it.
No, I didn't. I had to go buy it. I didn't have it. I had to go buy it. So I actually paid for that. And I had to go look for it. You can't just find that thing. Anytime I'm looking for something, I can't find it. And, it's like, oh, that kit's common. It'll be everywhere. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I think I ended up buying it at a show. It was the only one I could find there at the show. So I don't know if people were buying them or not. But, yeah, it's my interpretation of it. But, yep. So they're getting the tarp of shame.
I want to talk a little bit about your YouTube channel that you just recently started. So what was the inspiration behind starting the channel?
Actually, I just started watching YouTube like a year or two ago. I haven't been on it that long. and I already had a name, so I figured, I could use the name and run with the name. And I have a friend um, who is really good at editing, and I'm not. I don't. He hasn't taught me to. We got an issue. I'm on Mac. I got a Mac Pro, and he's got a PC, and he's like using Android, and so we got that problem going on. And then I'm trying to learn, and I'm a slow learner anyway, so I got to do it 30 times to remember maybe a quarter of what someone's taught me. So I need to learn to do some simple editing. So he's helping me do a really nice one a week video, and then I'm doing all the other ones. So and I just give him content and videos, and he just mixes them together for me. So we kind of did that. I just was intrigued by it, and I thought I have a lot of built cars that I can show, and I again, I didn't know how well known I was. I just didn't know, and so I thought I'd give it a shot. So that's kind of how I bounced into it. And I'm recently retired, so I got time to kind of do it. I don't know what I'm going to do if once I run out of showing all my builds. I don't know what I'm going to do after that. But for
Tips.
now,
You'll
tips,
do tips.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do tips. I do small. I'm My tips are going to be simple things. I'm not going to get into the more complex things. I want to keep it simple. I'm probably not going to hardly ever talk about paint because that's like opening a whole nother can of worms that I really don't want to get into. Um, I mean, I might show some things, but I really don't want to get into a lot of painting issues because it's so subjective. Painting, unless you're sitting with somebody to do it and help them out, it's really hard to explain without going down a rabbit hole.
And it's
Um,
boring to watch too. Like it's
yeah,
boring to film it. I
yeah,
could paint a whole body, which takes me like a half an hour. So you speed up the video and then it's just boring.
yeah. So I want to keep mine on the short. So I'm not really worried about views and stuff like that. It's like I just want to do simple. I'm a simple guy. I just want to do simple things. I want to show an average builder that maybe wants to add some little things to make his build look better without reinventing the wheel. So I have some simple little tips, and they seem to be well received. It seems like people really like some of the stuff I've done. So I'm going to do simple things that pretty much any skill level can do, and so that's kind of where I want to go with that. I mean, I pretty much have an idea of what I want to do. It's just I just need to implement it and just move forward with it. But and I'll probably get burned out just like everybody else does. I don't know. But I like joking around and I like having fun. I like it's supposed to be a fun hobby. It's not supposed to be taken so seriously that if you want to collect, collect. If you want to build, build. If you get something done, that's great. If you don't, that's fine too. It's all about the hobby and making friends and having fun, and it's supposed to be relaxing. It's not supposed to be stressful. So I hope people see that when they watch my stuff, and my stuff I think is different than everybody else's. I watched a lot of videos before I started, and I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want to do the same things. I want to be a little bit different because we're all
That's the way
different.
you
And
stand out in the crowd. Yeah.
Right.
yeah, so that's kind of how I kind of stumbled into it. I really wasn't ready to start. I just said, "Oh well, we're jumping in, and we'll figure it out as we go." And it's been it's been bumpy, but it's been good. I think it's been good. I think I'm still learning a lot of the things that you have to do with YouTube. I'm more fascinated by the analytics and stuff like that. It's fascinating to see where people are from and age groups and stuff like that. That to me is very fascinating. I just didn't realize you can track all that stuff. It's pretty unbelievable.
It's
So
fun to me that the people that I admire the most, out there in the world watch me. And I'm like, I didn't know that you knew, or watched me or, and so then I strike up conversations with these people and, and get to know them, which
yeah,
is very, very cool.
Yeah, I think that's part of the hobby is getting to know. And when I go to shows and stuff, I'm pretty shy. I don't normally walk up to people and start talking. And a lot of people intimidate me. Some of these builders that are, pretty high end builders that intimidate me. And like I met Clay Kemp last year at Atlanta. I had no idea he even knew my name. I stayed at the same hotel and I introduced myself to him. He knew who I was, and it's like I had no idea he even knew who I was because
Right.
our building styles are totally different. It's not like I've seen him, but I've never approached him. So I'm
Right.
learning to try to um, be more open to people, to come up to people and just say hi and talk to them, or I hope people do the same to me. I hope they come up and strike a conversation because a lot of times at these shows, I'm looking at stuff and I'm not really talking to a lot of people. So I'm
Right.
hoping that part of it helps me be more open and talking and meeting other people and looking at their builds. And I mean, some of these shows like NNLEs, it's so overwhelming. Half the cars, I don't even get to really see them. And I feel like I'm watching videos of them. It's like, man, I don't remember that car. Um, there's so many that sometimes if you don't build something that stands out, like I built a couple of things that are more authentic. I built a little red wagon, which is the first version of that car or truck, and it's very plain, and it just doesn't, in a sea of cars, it just gets lost. It doesn't
Yeah.
really stand out or nothing like that.
Yeah,
But it's
I
pretty
think
cool.
that's one of the things I always appreciated about a lot of your builds are, oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
That was never supposed to be a wheel stander. That was just a
Right.
experimental AFX car that they couldn't keep the front wheels on the ground. So that's where it became a wheel stander. So it had 2.4s, it had regular headers on it. It was pretty plain.
Yeah. I think
Um,
the thing that I always liked about your work is um, it was very eye-catching. I would often see your models and be like, it would catch my attention. Oh, that's really cool. And then I would find out, oh, I would see your name and I'm like, well, of course it's cool because, of the builder. And like you have a lot of stuff that um, and I think you have a good eye for design and you have a creative mind that you have a sense of what's cool and know how to put things together, and they've got sort of like the eye pop, just sort of catch your eye. And so
well,
yeah.
thank you. I appreciate that, especially coming from a guy who has uh, an eye for art. And well, like we talked about before, you and I have talked that we both come from a printing background
Yeah,
and
art and
graphics
printing.
in general. And so I think some of that comes from that,
Yeah.
um, attention to detail or looking at little things. And I think that's where a lot of that comes from for me. Plus I grew up in a body shop, so I've been taping cars since I was like 6 years old. My dad used to buy cars, and we tape them up and paint them. So and I learned to tape because we wouldn't take anything off a car, any of the emblems and stuff like that. We taped all that stuff up. If he painted the same color, we taped all that stuff up. So that's where I learned how to tape.
Yeah.
I learned how to taping up cars when I was young because my dad was always had a side job, always buying and fixing up cars and selling them. So he always painted stuff, and that's kind of where I learned to sand and paint and tape. Well, he
So
wouldn't
that
let me paint for a long time. It was more sanding and paint or taping.
you mentioned real cars, so you actually own another car that I didn't know. I had seen the car. I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then come to find out, oh, you're the guy that actually owned it or I think built it, right? So
Which what
the Pontiac El Camino.
my father built that.
Okay.
That my father built a '78 El Camino that he added put an '81 Le Mans front end. And then he took a '78 Grand Prix and took the drivetrain, and the dash has a Grand Prix dash in it. And it's got Oldsmobile console and steering wheel. It's got Buick seats and door panels. It's like it's
It's
got
like a
all GM
phantom.
stuff on it. It's
Yeah,
got
it's like
lacquer
an
on it
old
too.
80s Pontiac El Camino, which they
Yeah,
never made, but it
yeah.
looks really factory. Like it's really cool. I remember. So many years ago, I built a Phantom Buick Regal or Grand National El Camino, like an El Camino with a Buick clip on it, front clip. And I had gone online, was like looking. I was like, oh, I wonder if anybody else had built anything kind of similar. And I think that's where I had discovered that the Pontiac, and then I happened to be looking on your Facebook page. We became Facebook friends, and I was like, oh, hey, actually,
yeah, it's in my garage.
Yeah, that thing is really cool.
That's the last car my dad painted.
That thing
all over. It's got lacquer on it. It's got his fingerprints. I have his like his last coat and hat, his last pack. He was a smoker his whole life. I got his last pack of smokes he ever smoked in it.
Oh, wow.
My brother and I own that car together. So
it's
I don't own it outright. My brother and I own it together. So it's a family heirloom, and it's been in a Pontiac magazine. But it's basically he wanted it to look stock.
Yeah.
But my brother and I also had a '69 El Camino hot rod, 4-speed, bench seat, loud, fast. Nobody looked at it. This thing, I can't go get gas in it, and people it's like a magnet. People follow us around, and
it's so well done, and it's so understated. It just looks like it's not like a real hot rod look. I mean, it looks very like kind of a just a trim level package that Pontiac would have offered.
Yeah.
But it looks so factory. I appreciated how you did the rear end. Did you use like S10 taillights or something?
They're S10 taillights, and he added chrome around them to match the front parking lights.
Right.
And he rolled the pan on the back. He moved the license plate down from the trunk. And like I said, it's he's got some interesting. He's got like a secret button. It's got a tonneau cover with electric trunk latches on each side of it. And he made all these brackets and stuff like that. So it's got my dad's personality. My dad wasn't a custom guy. He liked stock. He liked dual pipes, but he didn't like hot rod motors. He was a stock guy. He liked his cars a certain way. He had a lot of black. We had a lot of black cars in our family because we always painted everything black. So I had a lot of black cars growing up, and it's sentimental to me. My dad's been gone, I think, 3 years now. So every time I get in that thing, I have to play a certain music, and it's kind of like that's the way that car rolled. So. But speaking of El Caminos, I got to show you this. I don't know if you guys ever saw this. Sorry about that being in front of the camera, but this is another long-term project of mine. James Duff, if I'm talking too much, you need to just cut me off.
Oh no, that's what you're here for.
Why do you think we bring on guests? So
that's exactly right, huh?
So this is El Camino.
Oh, neat. With a Riviera front
65.
Clip. Neat.
So it's gonna have blue lines on it. And then I have a 66 Riviera dash and interior in it. I took the vinyl top off of it.
Is that the 69 or 68 El Camino?
68 El Camino, yeah. So I made that's another reason I got a vacuum former, because this shape of this windshield has changed because of the front. Because I put a whole front clip on it.
Okay.
So I have to, one of the reasons I wanted to learn the vacuum form because I got to make a buck and make windows for the front of this. That's kind of what's holding me up, I think. That and many other things. But yeah, it's going to be, I got blue lines on it. I just thought something different.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think I'm going to go with like a blue interior, and the color on the outside might be Riviera in 65 had a unique Riviera only like silver on the green side. It's like a greenish tint to it, a silver. So that's what I'm thinking on the color, but I'm not sure yet. But that's going to be kind of stock. That's not really going to be like anything radical. Yeah, it's custom. It'll have a 455. The AMT 66 Riviera has a really nice 450. I think it's a 455
Yeah, I think so.
with the dual quads on it.
Mhm.
So that's the motor that's going to go in that. So, but that's a long-term project. It's actually the primer's done on it. It's ready to paint. I
Have
just
you
haven't pulled.
have you built a model of your dad's Pontiac El Camino?
No, you know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for Bill Geary to see it and say, "Hey, I'd like to do the files on that."
So
You'll
is
work
this
for
it?
I'm sorry.
Is this it?
Yeah, Hank.
What?
Hang on for a second. It'll take a second to come up. There we go.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is it. Yep.
Anybody who's
So
watching
cool.
me furiously type in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
You
That
have
is
to
too
see
cool.
it's so subtle. It you wouldn't really, unless you really know your Pontiacs and your El Caminos, you just think, well, that just rolled out of the factory. There's nothing special about it. And then, but if you know these cars, you're like, no, that's there never was one of those. And
Yeah.
especially if you see the back. I mean, because putting the front clip on is, I'm assuming it's pretty close to sort of a bolt on.
it bolts on.
Yeah, but the
He
back is where the
changed.
real work is, because it's been
Yeah.
completely changed to
Yeah.
match the
Yeah. The quarters,
style.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and the rear quarters have been changed too, right? They're not El Camino quarters. They're
Well, the quarters on an El Camino that year, the quarters on the back came out to meet the big bumper on the back. So
right.
he actually had to shave the corners off, and then he did a lot of work on the back. The back end's where he has all the work in it. But when he first did it, and when it was in primer, those taillights look like crap. I was like, oh, this is going to be ugly. But I think because he painted it black with a red interior and stuff. Now
Okay.
that's not the way it is now. That was his first version of it, which I think he has a more period correct wheel on it. But
Oh yeah,
that's
look
when
at
he
those.
first did it. But he added a lot more to the rear after this.
There's like a trim piece that goes around the.
He has a trim piece on there. He outlined the taillights in chrome. That didn't have the tonneau cover on yet. And that belt molding, that's like off a Chevy pickup with the 4 ribs, and he cut one of the ribs off of it and made it 3 ribs. So that matches the whole way around. And the wheel moldings, the chrome wheel moldings, are off of GMC. GMC made El Caminos too. That's why Pontiac never had an El Camino, because they had GMC. They sold GMCs. There was
El
no need for them.
Diablo.
There was no need for them to make an El Camino. But yeah, so there it is. That's the way it looks now.
Oh, okay.
And that chrome piece on the trunk, that aluminum piece, that's off the back of a cab of a 90s Chevy pickup.
Neat. Yeah,
And the tonneau,
it just did a really cool job on it. I was
Yeah.
always enamored with that car, and then I find out, oh, that's actually.
yeah, I can give you as many pictures of that as you want. But if anybody knows anybody of influence with 3D files, if they want to do a file of it, I'll give them everything I have to get one done. I at least
Bill's
need
your
the
guy.
front clip. I know Bill's my guy. I don't know if he'd ever do it or not, but
Well, Silvino's
guy-
isn't the don't they have a Le Mans NASCAR with that front?
I
clip?
did. I bought it. I have one, but it's the wrong scale,
Oh.
and I'm not. I mean, I guess a real scratch builder could build one, but I'm not good enough. I don't think I could do it. But I have a couple of the different kits that I thought I could use. But I think 3D would be my best bet, because I need a dash too. I need a Grand Prix dash.
Hmm.
And
Actually, Bill could do it. He just wouldn't share it. That's all.
Yeah,
I understand that.
We got the only one.
I mean, I know Bill good enough that maybe he would, but I wouldn't
Would never
broadcast.
ask.
Well, I guess I shouldn't be telling you this online or on the podcast, but
Well, nobody's watching anyway, so it doesn't
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah, it'd be nice to have someone.
Yeah.
So, hey, if anybody out there wants to make 3D files of this El Camino, I can send you measurements and pictures and whatever you need. I actually might drive it to your house just for you to measure it. But I
If you
definitely
could,
would. I'd love to build a model kit of it.
yeah. If you
But
could have one all brand new kit, all from scratch, what would you wish for?
I love a 1953 Buick Skylark.
Hmm. Yeah, those are neat.
I think they're beautiful cars, of old cars. But I don't know. I mean, I like so many different. I mean, that's the great thing about modeling. You can have every car you ever wanted,
And then some.
and
Right.
then some. And we all got them some, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do.
But yeah, I think a 53 Buick would be pretty cool. I know they'll probably never do one, but I'd be
You'll
interested in
probably
one.
get it in 3D first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Some sort.
I just always thought the Skylark with the belt line and the convertible top was a beautiful car. My dad's partner used to have one. He had a white one with red interior, so it's always been a favorite of mine.
Neat.
I mean, I have the Danbury one, but
So that's a perfect project for that red wheel guy in the Ukraine that did the Tucker and did that 52 Cadillac.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
That's something that's down his, yeah, yeah. It had a V8 in it too. That was a nice car. But yeah, other than that, I'm a 70. I had a 70 Chevelle, so I'm a 70 Chevelle guy. But to me, the best one out there is the Rebelle one, the Snap Kit. I think that's the only one that really looks right. I don't know why they keep screwing the front end up on that car. Nobody's ever got that right, but that Rebelle Snap Kit, the front end is perfect on that. So I had a red one in 1975 I bought, and a Super Sport with white
Hmm.
interior. And I'd like to build that car, but I'm going to use the Rebelle Snap Kit to do it.
I've heard that's the best one to
Yeah,
start
it
with.
is. Yeah, because the front end's right. All the other ones, I mean, I built the monogram one when it first came out. I do have one of those, but it don't look right. It's just the front end's not right on it.
And the scale's wrong.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah.
so like, what's covered a whole bunch of what you've done building wise. What's the least favorite part of model building for you? Like, what's if you could farm something out to a cave of trolls, what would it be?
Oh, decals.
What's the part that you like the best?
I think getting the vision and setting up the stance. Like
Yeah.
once I have the right wheels, the stance, and the color, then I'm good to go. Like to me, and if I don't get them right, if I'm not happy with the color, I'll build it for a while, and it's like I know I'm not going to finish it. I just know because I'm not happy with it, with the color. It wasn't the vision that I had. So those are the three things I think. Wheels definitely, um, stance, and but I do build other things. I mean, I build a bunch of gassers. I mean, um, I know I built a lot of the Tom, like I grew up during the Tom Daniels kits. That's why I sent James a couple photos of those, because those are the kits I grew up on. The Tom Daniel kits, the garbage truck, and all those. Those are ones I definitely bought and built as a kid. And then when I became an adult and they started reissuing that stuff, it's like, I bought one and built it better than the kits that I built as a kid. So and they're simple kits, I know that, but those are kits that I built as a kid. So that I have a connection to those Tom Daniel kits and stuff like that. That's really my era. And then the Miss Steel funny cars that I did, those, I have to tell you the story. This is a good story. When I bought that kit new, the first one when I was a kid, I took the instructions to school and I lost the instructions, and I never, it's too hard to build without instructions.
Mhm.
I don't even know if I could build one now without the instructions. It's got, it says typical Revell kits from those days. And so when I became an adult and they reissued that kit, it's like I got to build that because it's like unfinished business from when I was a kid. Because I loved the car and I never got to build it. And that's actually the one in the front's got PPG Harlequin paint on it.
Oh,
the real paint, the real Harlequin paint. Back when that came out, that paint was like my brother's cost was $35 an ounce, and that was years ago. And the one in the back, I bought that body on eBay. It was already painted. And so not only did I build one, I actually built two. So, but I love that kit. It's just a childhood memory. So, and actually the red one and the gold, I built that. I was going to sell it. Well, guess what? It's still here. I still have it. So yeah. So I bought that one. That was actually already painted, and I just like the look of it. So I just did a different version on them.
Yeah.
I have the headers drilled out in that and everything. I mean, I wired the motor on that. That's a finicky kit to build. Garbage truck. Yeah, I love those kits.
How many
So,
models do you think you finish in a year?
I'd say
He said-
anywhere from. I mean, I might do 25 or 30 a year.
Wow.
Now again, a lot of them are quick builds. Some of them I'll give away, some of them I'll keep, some of them, I mean, I build a lot. And it might, when you say model kits, I mean, I include those motors and stuff like that.
Sure.
I do a lot of, I do a lot of like those little quick builds. They're fun.
Yeah.
Now that's got a story. I don't know if James Tester, were you out at NNL Toledo when Yosemite Sam Radcliffe was there?
Yes.
Pinstriper?
Yes.
He pinstriped his car at that show. That's his pinstripes on there.
Oh, neat.
I'm surprised because I thought that I remembered seeing him pinstripe cars and it looked so out of scale, but that looks really good.
He did that right at the show. I just handed it to him and said, I got to talk to him I actually have I went back to his hotel afterwards and he did me a panel in 4 colors. A metal panel in 4 colors. It's got his fingerprint on the back and everything, so I got proof. But he says he normally doesn't pinstripe in 4 different colors. So I really greased the wheels with him, and I think he charged me $20 to do that Ford back then. But I just handed it to him at the show, and he just did it right there. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, so that has history out of Toledo. Actually, I went to did you go to the last Toledo?
I didn't.
Okay. I went out just to see everybody out there. Toledo is kind of where I started as far as shows. So that's where I got to meet most of you Ohio guys, was out at Toledo. When we went out for the last one, I took that car along out there because it kind of has history from. Actually, that was in I think somebody wrote an article that was in Scale Auto about that car was painted out there by him, pinstripe by him. My cars do better at shows when I don't take them. that car I did not take to NNL East. I had a friend take it for me, so I wasn't even there. So my cars do better when I don't go.
Yeah, that won the best of theme, right?
Yeah, and I wasn't even there. I built that car in 2 weeks.
I've heard that kind of story before.
It doesn't have a motor in it. Like I really used your art as inspiration. Unfortunately, I didn't have turquoise and I was too lazy to go get it, so I just used what I had. If I'd have known it was going to win something, I would have painted it turquoise. But
now you got to build another one.
Yeah, so I really used your art as inspiration for that. I thought it'd be cool to build the wagon of the art. So that's kind of where that.
I remember going to that and it was like, oh my gosh, somebody actually built the car on that I had done the poster, and because it was pretty quick, like you say, you build it in 2 weeks. Like I had probably turned that artwork in, not that, a few months before that, and I was shocked that somebody actually had time to actually build one.
Yeah,
that was pretty neat.
Yeah, that's the inspiration for that. So getting to meet you and getting a print from you was like, that was better than that meant so much to me, just to know that you did that art, and that inspired me for that build. So yeah, but I wasn't there. I wasn't there. My first win at Toledo, I wasn't there. I won best Corvette in 90. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. 93.
93.
93. My buddy Dave Toops from the Maryland group took that car out there. He said, I had that car painted and it's all lacquer. And he goes, Dave said to me, now Dave doesn't get a lot done. So he said to me, he goes, if I had a car that was painted like that, I'd have it finished. I would finish that car. So that got me inspired to finish it. And then he was single and he went to a lot of the shows. And so he took it out to Toledo with him. He said the Corvette's theme. Took it out there. And I'd never been to Toledo. I'd never been to any shows at that point. So he took it out there and it won out there. It won Best Corvette. So I didn't even know it. And then he carried that car. That car won a lot of stuff. Dave took that car everywhere. It won a lot, like best paint, a couple shows, and it did really well. But I didn't take it. Dave took it. And people probably thought I was him, because he won all kinds of stuff with that car. And I'm not one to brag about. I don't usually post if I've won something or not, but that story, it's just such a cool story. And like Dave took that car everywhere. He actually took in the Cadillac I did, the one that Doug got, the purple one.
Yeah.
He actually took that to a couple shows. Dave's carried more of my stuff to shows than his stuff. So yeah, he's done really well. So if I'm gonna go to a show, I'm better off just giving the car to somebody else and letting them go by themselves. I benefit from it, so I guess. But yeah, they're interesting stories. So yeah, that car has a lot of story to it. But it looks as good as the day that I built it. It's got really nice. It's black with PPG black airbrushed with PPG clear on it. Lacquer, all lacquer, hand rub lacquer. And it still looks that good today. But the interesting thing about that car is you'll never see a picture of it with the hood closed, because the air cleaner's too tall on it, and I didn't realize it until I was done. And I really had it glued on there, and I never popped it off. So I made a little hood prop for it, and that car, every photograph of that car is with the hood open.
Is it the black
It
one?
won't close.
The black Corvette?
Yeah, the black one, yeah.
Okay,
Yep,
so-
I sent you a picture of that one.
there you go.
Yeah. The hood won't close on it. Yeah, it's a big block, and it's got a small block hood on it. But yeah, that car did, and that's the monogram one with the tinted windows and stuff.
65, isn't it? I think, yeah.
65, yeah.
The rat or something.
Yeah, it's something like that. Black rat or rat something. Yeah. Yeah. It car did really well. So I had no clue. So then I went the next year. I went out to Toledo the next year. And I went to
I feel like we must have crossed paths. I'm surprised we've never really chatted, because we must have been at the same shows.
Well, as models were anyway.
it's possible. I mean, I went to a lot of NNL East, and I went to a lot of Toledo. I've done a bunch of little other shows. Well, now since I'm in the South, Atlanta's my show now that I go to, and I did get to NNL East this year. I tend to get up there like every other year, and I really wanted to go to Ohio this year for the Buckeye. Was it Buckeye? Yeah.
Buckeye show, yeah.
I got sick. It's just like every time I turned around, something else went wrong. I was packed up and ready to go. I mean, I was ready to go, and ended up getting sick and not being able to go. So I want to come this year. I definitely want to come up to the Buckeye this year.
Well, you have maybe plan a trip to the Akron show, and you can bring your travel all. We'll have all three of our travel.
Well, if you're gonna have a travel all show, that might get me incentive to get it done, to get it up there.
That's at least my goal is to try to get it finished for the Akron show. I don't know if Mr. Tester's
probably not.
Maybe he's over there squirming, going, "Stop making commitments! Stop it!
Come on, you can do it. Just slam it."
Yeah, Toledo's where I met everybody. I mean, Bill Coulter, Tim Boyd. I met all those, Randy Durr, all those guys I met up at Toledo, because we used to go to their Friday night thing, and then in Dayton, and then head up to Toledo the next morning. All the Mama's boys did that. We did that every year. I didn't go up as many times as everybody else did, but I was up there quite a bit. And I got to the last one. I really wanted to go to the last one just to see some of those guys and see the history and some of the builds that that were going to be there. So I definitely went out of the way to go up there for the last show.
Yeah.
But yeah. What else? How we doing?
I see we're almost at time.
As I say, we're about the time here. So the always interesting exit in question here that we have stolen from another podcast many years ago, but they don't use it anymore, so I don't feel like I'm stealing it at this point. It's called the Magnus Open Build. So it's your Lifetime Achievement Award. Is there a build of some sort, be it a singular object, a singular build, or a series that you would want to do that would sort of be the statement that you would leave that would be, this was Irvin Arter's work? Is there a particular something that you want to get done? As you mentioned, we're all getting older, and the number of things that we're going to get done dwindle as the days go by. Is there something that you want to get done that's sort of the statement build?
Yeah, I want to get them all done.
That's cheating.
That's my statement. I want to build them all. I want to build every single kit I have. I really do. I don't care if at the end, if I'm just gluing them together, I'm going to ruin them for somebody that there's going to be no value. When I leave this world, I don't want to have any value left in this room. I want to build them all.
No kids left when you die.
I don't care if I'm just gluing them together. I plan on, as long as I can glue stuff together, and if I can, as long as I can cut the parts off, that's really what I want to do. I mean, I love this hobby. I really love it. I love building model cars. I always have. It's just a passion. My wife will tell you it's too much of a passion at times, but she tries to keep me under control. But yeah, I want to build them all. I really do. I really, really do. I want to build them all.
Well, that's awesome. Irvin, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Hopefully I didn't talk too much.
I had a good time, man.
Again, that's the point of you being here.
Right.
I really enjoyed it. I'm quite honored to even being asked to join your show tonight, and I can't think of I mean, it's been great, and like I said, I'm all new at this stuff, so yeah, I love building model cars. So
Me too.
And
all right,
Irvin, where can people find you as far as your YouTube channel and all that stuff?
yeah, Arter Rake. Just type in Arter Rake on YouTube. And that I'm on Facebook, but I don't really have any other venues or anything going on. Like I said, this is all new to me, so I'm kind of taking one step at a time. This podcast is something that's just branched out too. So I don't know. That's it. Just YouTube. Just type in Arter Rake with one R instead of two. And you'll find me, or you can find me on, or under Irvin Arter Jr. as far as Facebook. I don't use the Arter Rake on Facebook as far as where you can find me there. But I'm on a bunch of Facebook places.
Yeah.
So that's about it. Yeah, that's it. Like I said, I like to keep it simple.
We'll look forward to see it around at shows.
Yeah, it's I think I think I'm going to I think there's a show in Charleston in a week or two. I think it'll be my next show with the Southern guys down here. But yeah, my next northern visit will be up in Ohio, probably be my next big one.
Sounds
and
good.
then Atlanta.
All right, I'll see you there.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
All
right, guys. Thank everybody out in the YouTube world for joining us tonight. Thank Irvin for bringing his Princess Diana wave to the podcast this evening. And we'll see everybody on the other side.
Good night.
Good night.